I'd like us to open to the book of Daniel, chapter 11. He said, and such as do wickedly against the covenant shall be corrupt by flatteries. It says, this B part is where my emphasis is. It says, but the people that do know their God, he said, they shall be strong and do exploits. It says the people who know their God, the women who know their God, they will be strong and do exploits. My emphasis there is who know their God. Do you know your God? Knowing your God is not just about the first time you came out, there was an altar call. And there was, do you want to give your life to Christ? And you came out, you felt weary with life at that point. And you came out and gave your life to Christ. You received salvation. That's not all. That's just part A of know their God. Know their God. There's a part B. And that part B is you coming under the government of God. Coming under, submitting under Him. Because you can actually come here, give your life to Christ and go, like, I've given my life to Christ. I don't do this, I don't do that anymore. I don't do this, I don't do that. But your will is still very strong and intact. Your own will you want to do. And you're still struggling with the Lord. You have not come completely under His government. Those are the people who will be strong and do exploits. Without a close walk with Him, you cannot know God. You can't know Him. It's not about just coming to give your life and go away and profess, or that you were born into a Christian home, or that you went to church. No. It's about a closer walk with Him. As you walk with the Lord, you begin to hear His voice. Then He begins to teach you His ways. Then He begins to show you His path. And as you begin to align yourself to that pathway, you will begin to truly know the God that you serve. How far do you want to go in your walk with God? The determinant factor is you. You are the one who determines your outcome at the end of the day because of the decisions that you make. Like one sister I heard saying, she said, when a child is born, they say you look like your father and look like your mother. But when you're growing, they say you look like your decisions. The decisions you made. When you look at yourself after 30 years, the decisions you made will be staring you right in the face. But when you have an opportunity to make the right step, to move in the right direction, what do you choose? What do you choose? For that honor and glory to come forth from your life, there's a process. For you to be able to carry scepters of authority, thrones of power, there's a process. You can stay and admire a woman of God or a man of God. But as you admire, ask the Lord. Because the truth is, you cannot just suddenly become. There's your own dealing, your own, that they wrote your own name on it, that you must go through. Some of us have been running away from dealing. Been running away from the process, jumping the gun. But not knowing that we are limiting ourselves. There's greater power. There's greater power that awaits us. Great exploits that we can do if we will submit. He said, submit yourself under the mighty hand of God, and He will exalt you. Submit yourself, submit to God, and the devil will flee from you. Can you submit to God? Has He been speaking to you and you have been struggling with Him? Do you even know Him? If you really know God, the things He speaks to you, you will follow what He's saying. You will obey His instructions. Maybe you're here, you don't even hear the voice of God at all. You need to seek it. How much passion do you have Because in these days and times, the Lord wants to show himself, but to some others he will hide, so that you will come looking for him. Wants to see how much passion, how much do you really love him, or you love the things his hands can give you. Loving God is beyond what he can give you. Loving God is loving him whether he changes the situation or not. It goes beyond circumstances. See that, and that is what the Lord is calling us to. If you will be that woman who will do exploits, then you need to be strong. And for you to be strong, you need to submit yourself for process. You need to submit yourself for dealing. Have you come to the point of the cross? Have you submitted yourself under the power of the cross? Because it will kill the flesh. It will kill flesh. Many of us are still very fleshly. But for you to be strong, then the flesh, because flesh leads to death. Ultimately, at the end of the day, his pathway is death. But he's calling us to a pathway of life. All he's saying is submit to me. All he's saying is submit to me. All he's saying is don't opt out of that dealing. Just wait. You are in a trying moment. I am refining you. I'm refining you. So that at the end of the day, this vessel, I can look at this vessel and say, yes, this is my vessel unto honor that I will use, that I can use. The world is crying for help. There's darkness everywhere. Won't you sign up as one of those that God can trust? Won't you sign up as a vessel of honor? Won't you throw away the stones that Satan has put in your hands, like the madman of Gadara? Satan put stones in his hands. He used it to injure himself. And he was crying. It was Jesus that showed up. And all those stones were thrown away. Will you throw away the stones? Those stones, ultimately, at the end of the day, it will not do you well. It won't do you good. It's not as if some of us don't want to live a certain kind of life. Oh, but I have come to realize that the end is vanity upon vanity. To what end? To what end? God will take you to a place in him where you'll be satisfied with him. Covetousness will not even be the order of the day for you. Because a lot of ladies are very covetous. You want to have this, you want to have that. You have your own way. You have your own way, your own alternative. No. To become that certain kind of woman who will be strong and do exploits, you have no alternative. Until you come to that point where it is just about him and you. Even there's someone here, God has even been speaking to you that this man in your life is not the one for you. I say drop him. You are still struggling with it. I want to tell you that I was there one time in a relationship. And God told me, say, leave this relationship. This is not what I have ordained for you. I was struggling with it because I had stayed long in that relationship, 5 years. And I was all like, with all this my investments, just die like that. But he says, no, this is not a place for you. Until I came to that point. And I said, Lord, help my heart. I want to do this, I don't even have the power to do it. Help me. And that was how he helped me. And I went and broke that relationship. We didn't fight. There was no fight. I was looking for opportunities so that I would say, because he did this to me, so I'm not doing it again. God did not bring that opportunity. You will use your own will. You will go yourself and say, I'm sorry, it's over. Why? Because he didn't tell me that he had a better thing for me ahead. He didn't tell me. He said, choose. So it's about obeying him. The things he says, let's go. Even right here, the power to forgive sins is available right here in this room. What is that addiction that you have held on to? There are stones that Satan has put in your hands to enjoy yourself and your destiny. That same power that Christ had right there that freed the man of Gadara, that madman, it is in this room right now. It is here. It wants to free you. It wants to take away the stones of masturbation, the stones of fornication, the stones of bitterness. He wants to take it from you right now. What is it? He's looking for men. Said he's forming, an army of women that will stand in these last days to bring forth seeds that will bruise the head of the serpent. Will you be one of such? Now is the time to make those kind of decisions. I'm tired of being in these circles and cycles. I'm tired of being in this place. You've been speaking to me about this relationship. I'm not just hearing. Help me, Lord. If you are here, you need to pray. Just say, Lord, help me. I want to be free. I want to be free. Help me. Let your power free me tonight. I want to be free. I tell you, God has a better and brighter future for you. If he has spoken to you, he knows what he's saying. He said it to me. And today, I don't regret. It took 1 year plus before even the man who married me now came. God knew that, yes, even though he had told me to leave the relationship, he knows me better than I even know myself. He knew that it's still in the heart. A kind of, he will come. That process, that's not finished. For the fact that he say, I've let go, it hasn't finished. It's still brooding. It's still brooding. Satan can still come now and then and pull you to go back at your decision. And then he took 1 year to heal inside. Then he knew that that man was no longer inside my heart. It took 1 year. Every time he was coming back to check, this God, he really sits down as a refiner. That thing he has told you to stop, he still watches you now and then to see if you truly have stopped. He will not look at your mouth. You know, it's easy for you to use your mouth and say, Lord, I surrender. Lord, I give you all I did. His own is straight the heart, the abundance. He knows what is inside, because your mouth can speak something else, but your heart is still on it. Jesus, help us tonight. Help us tonight. There's a discipline the Spirit takes us through so that we can enter into his promise, the promise that he has for us. I'd like us to rise up tonight. Jesus, help us. Help us, help us, help us. Oh yes. You want to talk to the Lord. All these things that I've said, you know the one that resonates with you. I want you to begin to pray about it. The Lord has brought some of you all the way to free you, to cause you to have freedom. Oh yes. And that power is here to break any form of addiction, to break any form of struggle. Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. Can you speak to the Lord? Don't look at me. I don't have anything to offer you. The presence of God is right here in this room. His power is right here in this room. Can you speak to him? Anything that I have said that resonates with you, you want to pray about it. Oh yes, Lord. Ask the Lord to help you. To help you. For some of you who have opted out of that process, ask the Lord for mercy. Ask the Lord for mercy. Ask the Lord to help you to stay true to this process to the end, so that his image can be seen in you. Oh Jesus. Oh yes. As you go through his process, his hands will be upon you. And once suddenly you come forth as pure gold, as pure silver, you see yourself begin to fly. You begin to fly. Those who you felt have gone far ahead of you, and because you stumbled at this point, but because you submitted yourself under the mighty hand of God, you will see yourself even ahead of them. You will see yourself fly. Oh yes, you see yourself with speed. Yeah. Kabala sataya koshata. Rakababababana satayada. Rakababababa. You want to first of all ask the Lord for mercy. Mercy. Oh la kadie sete shila brakos kapaparatia.